Hi. Um, so this is my second YouTube video. Um, if you saw the first, which no one did, and no one may ever see these, that's okay. Um, I'm sure you know that I have no clue as to what I'm doing. Um, my name is Catherine. I'm 67 years old. I'm a cancer survivor. Was in organ failure, very close to death. When I was able to start chemotherapy. That was 2 years ago. I'm fine now, almost 2 years ago. Um, I keep the hair short because I've gotten to where I like it that way. Um, so I've had a lot of trauma in my life started when I was a small child. And I've spent most of my life, I think, trying to figure out um, how to get to a better place. Sometimes more successful, sometimes less. Um, I'm in a really interesting place now, and I've been here for a while. And I really feel like I have something that I want to share with those of you who may be a little newer on your journey. I think selfishly, I also have a wish to build a community of people who love and support each other, a family. And it depends on what your family's been like, but a family of choice. But like I said, if no one ever sees this, that's okay too. In my life, most of my life, certainly before cancer, I tended to overthink everything. I was very analytic, planned everything out. This is totally new for me, just to do something on a whim that I've never done and I'm not any good at, but I'm going to do it anyway. Life is short. So I don't really have an agenda beyond that. I'm just going to share what comes to me, and if anybody listens and wants to share back, I would love to hear from you. I think we grow together. We grow in community. I believe community is sorely needed right now. So this morning I woke up with a story I had heard. I believe it's an old Buddhist tale. I'm not sure of that. Feel free to fact check and let me know if you want. Would love to find out more. And I think it struck me because I've been working on changing perspective a lot, and it's a story about that. So I think that's why I had this dream. So there's a young man, and he's been searching for most of his life for a profound or sacred truth to live by. And he finally gets the courage to seek out this very well-known wise Buddhist monk that's repudiated to be very wise. And he goes to him. It's a journey to get there. And he gets there, and he asks the Buddhist monk to please teach him something profound, some sacred truth to live by. And the monk looks him over and says, okay, I'll do that. But first, let's have a cup of tea. And so the young man sits down, very excited, and the monk makes the tea and brings it to him. And he lifts the cup. The man lifts the cup to his mouth and The cup is very warm, and the steam is rising off the tea. You can tell it's hot. And it has a very kind of earthy, clean fragrance. And suddenly, he's not sitting in the hut anymore holding the tea. He is standing in a meadow. And everything his senses tells him is that he is in this meadow. He feels the earth beneath his feet. He feels the sunshine on his face, the wind blowing gently against his back. There's a lake spread out in front of him, beautiful, dark blue, very calm lake. Behind it, there are mountains rising up into the sky. Beautiful, clear day, some white, fluffy, cumulus clouds, birds singing. You can hear the grasshoppers in the field. And he just, very unlike him, he doesn't try to analyze it, like, am I dreaming? Or he just sort of accepts it, and he's there. He's there in the moment, fully experiencing it. And then behind him, he hears a noise, and he turns around, and it's a young woman walking toward him. She's carrying a water bucket and obviously going to the lake. And he looks at her, and it's not anything specific. It's not, what she looks like. It's not how she's moving. And it's not even a thought. It's something he feels deep, deep in his body, that he is connected to her, that they are intimately connected, and that he loves her dearly. And again, very unlike him, he tells her that. And she's kind of stunned for a minute, and then she says, this is going to sound crazy, but I feel the same way. I feel like I know you. I feel like you're a part of me. So he follows her home. She lives with her elderly parents and takes care of them. And he visits every day for many months. And over time, her parents grow to be very fond of him. And although they don't tell the parents right away about their first encounter or how they felt, over time the parents can see that they really love each other. And so it's decided that they're going to get married, and they do. And they stay in the home with the parents to take care of them. Things are good. About 3 years into the marriage, the wife becomes pregnant, gives birth to a beautiful little boy. He's just full of life and energy and smiling and laughing, and just a joy to be around. And 2 or 3 years after that, she gives birth to a little girl who's just this golden, radiant little personality. And they're very happy. They have hardships. Things happen, but overall, they're very happy with each other, with their lives, the whole family. Until the boy turns 14. And shortly after his 14th birthday, he becomes seriously and suddenly quite ill. And the father reaches out to the local healer, who comes to the home and diagnoses him and starts treatments. And the boy just doesn't get any better. In fact, they can tell that he's getting worse. He's getting weaker. And so the father ventures further to get another healer. And one after another, he ends up going pretty far, looking for someone who can help his son. And a lot of different medicine people try, and various diagnoses, various treatments, various medications. But none of them work. And ultimately, in less than a year, the boy dies. The family is beside themselves. Kind of the gamut from numb to weeping to rage. A couple of months after that, they're still sort of reeling. The little girl goes out to the woods to gather firewood, which is one of her jobs. She does it on a regular basis. But this day, while she's there, she's attacked by a tiger, and she's killed. When she doesn't come home, by dark, the father goes out looking for her, and he finds what's little remains that are left of her, not much. And he goes home and tells his wife. She just can't get past it. She can't get past losing both of her precious children, and she goes to the lake and drowns herself. Her parents, who, figured they'd die before their daughter, and certainly before their grandchildren, can't accept it. They're like, we have nothing to live for. And they decide to starve themselves. And as much as he tries to convince them to eat and keep going, he's not successful. And they die pretty quickly. It doesn't take long, and die within hours of each other, actually. And that's, although it's not the biggest loss, it's like the final nail in the coffin for this young man. He has nothing. He has nothing left. Everything, everyone he ever loved is gone. And so he decides to go to the lake and drown himself like his wife did. And so he gets to the edge of the lake, and he's getting ready to step in. And suddenly, he's not standing on the shore. There isn't a meadow. There isn't a lake. There aren't mountains rising in the background. None of that. He's sitting in the Buddhist monk's hut, as close as he can tell, in exactly the position he was in a lifetime ago when he left. He's still holding the cup of tea. He can still feel the warmth. The steam is still rising. You can still smell that earthy fragrance. And the monk says, there's your profound lesson. There's your sacred place. Do you know what it means? And the young man, he's probably in shock. He's just can't speak, and the monk, much less think. And the monk says, we live in the emptiness of our minds. It is the emptiness where anything and everything is possible. Anything and everything beyond what we can imagine can be made real like that. What you lived was real, but it wasn't the only reality. Your realities are unlimited. Now, not that long ago, I would have thought, well, that's a silly story. um, Even though, my background, um, I know that from brain studies that we can very easily burn new neural pathways, that the brain is very plastic, much more than we used to think. And we can literally change our perspective almost overnight. It's 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 not the change that's hard. We think it's the change that's hard. We think it's the change that takes forever. But actually, the change can be instantaneous. It's the convincing ourselves that we can change. It's the convincing ourselves that we're worthy of change, that we're due change. That's what can take years, decades. Intergenerational trauma, it can take lifetimes. If you know anything about quantum physics, you know that when you get down to a very small level, science sees this, has evidence of what the Buddhists spoke about long ago, that you can change the pathway of tiny little photons, tiny little bursts of energy just by looking at them. They will react to that. In space, matter appears and disappears. It's not like we used to think, where you had matter and maybe it changed form. It went from water to gas or water to ice, but the matter was still there. What we see in field theory and what we see in space, we've been able to see in space, is that things can appear and disappear. And that space and time aren't necessarily absolute, that they may well be relative. I feel like I've been spending most of my life struggling against myself, coming up with reasons why I didn't deserve or the things that I wanted, and was even scared to want them. That was what kept me in my reality. It wasn't what was around me. If anything, what was around me reflected what was inside of me. And accepting that, I've seen just enormous changes very, very quickly. Some things that, doctors can't, they're like, oh, well, the test must have been wrong, because that's really not possible. So I just want to invite you, it all sounds very woo-woo, I know that, But I just want to invite you to consider that maybe you're the one that's in your way. Maybe it's not these other people who have hurt you. They have hurt you. You have a reason. Maybe it's not these circumstances that have been hard. I'm not discounting that. But maybe the biggest obstacle is you not believing that it's possible for you to experience love and beauty and joy and live in the moment. And if you can't believe that for yourself, and I've been there, then believe that I believe it for you, and that there's a whole world of people out there who believe it for you. And let us carry you. They've carried me. Let us carry you until you can start to believe it too. That's my wish and my hope for you. God bless you, or however you see that. Have a great night. Bye bye.